for you, do you foresee kind of the price tag in the Christmas tree market skyrocketing this
Good
upcoming
morning,
season?
everyone. This is Goddess Taya, 4444.
You look at the pictures of that part of the country.
I am
I
Tanya.
think that's where they invented those romantic Christmas movies, right? Behind the trees.
This is a general read
People have to
for
realize
someone
to replace the trees that were lost, it could take 6
who
to 12
needs to
years.
hear it.
And then the soil, it was impacted by sludge and dirt, and some of those trees may never come back. And the impact on the Christmas
You have
tree
the
market for the
moon.
future could impact Christmases all the way from to 2036.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me
So
get
it's going to be a
some light.
long time way to do things cheaper. Well, look at Elon Musk, for example, with those rockets. And there's new technology coming on the boards. This program's been in place since the 1980s. It could
You
use
have
a bit of an
Seven of
overhaul.
Swords.
And with artificial intelligence, maybe we'll find a better way to get this data in the future, and it might even be more accurate. We'll have to
Ten of
see.
Pentacles.
And Phil, we've been focusing a lot on prior seasons, right? You can learn from that. The upcoming season is going to be the 20-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. That's going to be in August, right? So 20 years removed, but that was the most costly storm ever to hit the United States back in 2005. If everybody wants to see this at home, we have a graphic showing just how costly this was. And we think about New Orleans, right? Ground zero for all of this, how expensive that is. I mean, this is over $200 billion in debt. It's almost unfathomable what that's like. I wanted to ask you, 20 years removed from this catastrophic storm, is there still a price tag?
Okay, what I'm feeling here
from Katrina still?
is that
I think it is. I think it's in the energy industry.
Someone
Some of it is positive.
is having
Sometimes we learn from these disasters. Yes, the economic
spell work done.
is terrible, right? And we hope we never see anything like that ever again. But we learned a lot. For example, the energy industry, right?
To get pregnant.
The devastating impact on that industry. We learned a lot. How to produce oil safely during these storms.
They are. They're basically in need of money, and they're doing this spell work to.
On Tuesday evening, but then the attention turns to the northern plains and then eventually throughout the Great Lakes, Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday.
She having the baby.
Into the forecast, all modes of severe weather are on the table. We'll be breaking that
just
down.
for money. Just for money, point blank. They feel like this is their way of getting money. There is drinking involved, partying and drinking involved. Now, these cards, I'm using these cards as a blueprint. I am basically channeling, and these cards is giving me a blueprint of what's going on. Alright? But, yeah, this is spell work going on, or they have done spell work. They just did spell work on the moon cycle. On this moon cycle.
And so do you. We believe every day is a chance for an upgrade. Clean, delicious snacks made without compromise. Designed to fuel your joy.
I'll get to the rest of this shortly.
Is just within reach. Lesser evil. Feed.
The rest of the cards. Well, I basically, okay. They're doing, they have done the spell work to get pregnant. But, and they know this. This is what they, with this next card, they know that things are delayed.
Get ready to do more this season. With a 2-year warranty, free shipping options, and more.
Because of their evil,
Visit QRPower.com today to shop
because
for
of the
sales
wrong
for hundreds of deals.
intents of having a baby. That spell work is delayed, and for some of you, someone is doing spell work to keep someone from getting pregnant. Matriarch, Queen of Death.
Waters were captured in western Maryland on Tuesday afternoon. The intensity on display as water filled neighborhoods, prompting widespread evacuations, having to evacuate the local elementary school as well. It's going to be a long road ahead for the rainy conditions, at least, going into the overnight and early Wednesday morning, as we will still have a threat for flash flooding at least through Wednesday, before our focus then shifts back out towards the Great Lakes with a new chance of severe storms. So the way things were looking Tuesday evening, we still had this low pressure system that was sitting right into this general vicinity. And then look at where the rain is coming. It's getting wrapped around that low. And so essentially what that's doing is pulling in a lot of moisture off of the Atlantic, which is why some of the rainfall rates have been pretty substantial. And then you talk about the eastern side of some of the mountain ranges you can find in this part of
this
the country.
person that's doing this, they are getting money from an older person. They're getting money from an older person.
That'll expire into the overnight hours as well, out for Greene County, Virginia. So, decently smaller town if you compare it to like Washington.
To do the spell work.
Towards the northeast. For DC, you guys actually have been pretty lucky in where you're sitting.
But
at
this older person don't know it.
And to the north, in this general area in Maryland, that's where we had the first flash flood emergency.
They don't know that this is what this person, their daughter, is doing. They could be getting it from their mother or father, aunt, some older person, because it's underneath the Ten of Pentacles.
Heavier rainfall rates that are going to be pushing a bit further north into your direction. So the morning commute may be a bit sloppy. We have another round of some stronger storms starting to push up through Philly, DC, going into late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, and then eventually still kind of waiting for the last little bit of this to finish out by Thursday. Then we have another system coming right behind it. So the weekend could also feature some rain as well. Back out towards the northern Rockies, this is where system number 2 is starting to form. So what's happening is big dip in the jet stream, a low pressure sort of sitting in this general area, and that's all going to be swinging towards
clarifying with these cards.
And the northern Great Lakes. And so what that low is doing is helping to enhance the chance for seeing severe storms. The severe weather threat for the northern plains going into Wednesday is going to be into the late afternoon, early evening. It's this line of storms as it moves to the east along I-90, I-94. I-80, it could see some stronger storms, but it looks like you guys have enough of a tapping inversion to put a limit on the convection that you could see going into Wednesday night. But these storms will continue to ride and pull up further into spots like Wisconsin, Minnesota, by the time you get into Thursday afternoon, which is where another resurgence of severe storms start to come into the picture. So Wednesday night, this is the one that we're tracking. We have a secondary low down here that could produce a chance of seeing some thunderstorms, but again, all the ingredients are coming together farther north. For O'Neill, Sioux Falls, Mobridge, out towards Minneapolis.
I'm gonna find out what this Ten of Swords is about. Okay.
As the low pulls north, and then this cold front continues to swing. Sorry about my drawings there. But as we move into Thursday, this is where
I'm also hearing possibly they may have stole some money from this older person.
Later on into the day, and so the Windy City.
Give me something on this Ten of Swords,
Less reliable
please.
conditions going into Thursday afternoon and evening, and then eventually that'll spill out towards portions of Michigan and into Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. By Friday, the attention comes back down to me, the most active corridor we've had this year into 2025. I mean, Nashville, Louisville, out towards Jonesboro, even St. Louis. I think St. Louis would be a sneaky corridor as well for seeing some stronger storms.
Yeah.
And out towards Charleston. So
this older person,
areas that will be feeling the wrath of Mother Nature.
they came begging this older person for some money. This person, they may have been in jail
and then probably the most densely populated area out of
or in and out of jail.
With the second round of a multi-day superweather threat. The Eastern Pacific hurricane
So
season
I'm
picks up
feeling
this
like
Thursday.
they may
In the
have
Olympic season, West
stolen
Virginia
some money.
Florida keeping a close eye on these storms as 3 hurricanes slammed the state just last year alone. National Weather Service Tampa Bay
From this
meteorologist
older
Matt
woman.
Anderson joining Fox Weather's Ian Oliver, looking ahead to a possibly active 2025 hurricane.
You see 2 children here.
What stands out to me is just the active season that we saw last year, just a historic season in 2024. The one thing that really stands out to me is, like you mentioned, I can't believe that it's already here, already just a couple of weeks away from
This person could have 2 children.
So we've been preparing, we've been going out, getting folks ready, just spreading that message of hurricane preparedness as we approach the...
This woman wanted this
You used
happening.
the word message, and I wanted to ask you most about messaging. It's our primary job for both of us as we move into situations
And
like
she
this.
wanted
I was on
this
St. Pete
baby.
Beach during Hurricane Helene, and I lived down there. I worked in Tampa, and I was there for Irma.
For
and
the
I think
purpose
most
of
folks,
money.
that was the storm of reference. But we were talking about some of these surge numbers that were going to be possible with Helene, and then watching the beach disappear. It was a terrifying thing to watch, and we know that both of those storms, while devastating, neither of those were worst-case scenarios for that
Give me
region,
a minute,
which is
y'all.
so vulnerable to some of these tropical hazards.
This
So as we move into this
person was
season,
happy.
if there's any good that came from last year,
Okay,
do you feel like it'll be
okay.
easier to get that message across for the Weather Service?
This person either scammed money.
I think we learned a lot from Helene with it passing well offshore, like you mentioned.
See,
Historic
these
surge,
energies,
surge that we haven't
they
seen
come
in
in.
the Tampa Bay region since
Okay.
the 1921 storm. So, nothing in anyone's
One
lifetime
energy
has
could
ever
just coming
the surge we
in.
saw with Helene.
This
And then we had
person
Milton
just
that came just a couple
has
weeks later, like you mentioned, because people saw the
someone
devastating effects from Helene. It seemed as though people were more willing to evacuate
that
for Milton. So
is doing moon work.
folks that evacuate for Milton, and we learned a lot with Milton as well, because it was a direct impact. We saw the tornado outbreak, not here in the Tampa region, but along the east coast of Florida and down towards
To
southwest
get
Florida.
pregnant.
Just the tornadoes that we saw were with Milton, 10 tornadoes that were EF2.
Get money,
That's
of
just an
course.
incredible
Spell
outbreak
work
with a
on
hurricane
children.
storm that we really haven't seen. So a lot that we learned
Spell work
last
on
year,
money.
just different impacts and things like that. So I think folks here along the west coast of
Or
Florida
spell work
to
to
Yes, it's super intense, as you said, with the tornadoes, and so far displaced from the core.
They're doing it on someone.
Both in and
Okay.
outside of the cone. And that
This
was a change
someone
last year. I
is
wanna get
an
your thoughts on that
older
before we let you go.
person.
Seeing some of those inland
Okay.
alerts on there with the new
This
cone,
older
which will be,
person, this
used
queen
again
of
this year,
disc
still
is
technically,
stable,
in a trial phase.
right?
Did
They're
you
doing
feel like
spell
that was a
work
step in the right
on
direction last
her
season?
or him.
Yes, absolutely. And like you mentioned, still experimental, but it does show where those impacts extend to.
They're
So
going
all
to
folks
this
don't
person
focus
begging
in
for
on
money.
home, because that just is a statistical representation. of
Could
where
be their
the
parent
storm
or
impacts
parent
two-thirds of the time. It tells us nothing about
to
impacts
do
and
spell
what
work
we
or
should
have
do.
spell work done.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent.
It gives you a better idea when you see those inland. Yes.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely. So it
de-emphasizing
gives you a
some
better
They're
of
idea.
scamming.
Yes,
de-emphasizing the cone itself, which people have a tendency to stare at and right.
Others
And it just emphasized the hazards
or
that
their
those people
parents
will be facing, and what you do, especially in a metro
to make
area
their
that is
children
so
happy.
vulnerable to some of these problems, these hazards from tropical systems. It's a very important gig, and
In other words,
we don't have to have
they don't want to work
as we can handle a quiet
for
one. So we
their
appreciate you,
money.
taking the time. That's Matt Anderson, the acting meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service office in Tampa Bay.
And
Thanks for being here on
I am just getting that it is a scam.
Away from the water in Los Cerritos, Mexico. This spot is just north of Cabo San Lucas on the Baja Peninsula. The Eastern Pacific hurricane season actually starting on Thursday.
They
so
are
36
begging
hours time,
people
also on May 15th,
for
the
money
National Hurricane Center will begin to issue advisories and
to
what they're
get
expecting for
to
each and every
take
day of the
care
season for
of
the
their
Atlantic basin,
children, to
because
make
about
their
once every 4
children
years, we'll see some
happy
early development in the month of May, with the
and
Atlantic
all
hurricane
that.
season starting officially on June 1st. But already this week, we are tracking a broad area of low pressure that's expected to form. If you were watching Fox Weather last week,
At the
there
same
were
time, this
questions about
person
could this happen in the Caribbean, but right
with
now, that consensus
these
is really as it would be
cocktails
Pacific.
right here,
No worries for the Atlantic at this point in time, but
this
for locations
person
across the EPAC, it's what we're monitoring moving forward.
is a
However,
drinker
not the entirety of the
or a
atmosphere
partier.
on board with this. We have some upper level sinking air that's going to overtake the region. So when we say sinking air, it's almost acting as something suppressing
But there's a
the
tower.
convection, pushing it down, and so it's not going to allow for anything to really become this massive complex, whether it be a tropical storm or
The
a
Six of
hurricane.
Pentacles, the
Sometimes
sun, and the tower is,
for the water
I
temperatures,
mean,
this is one of the crucial
the
ingredients
Ten
to
of
will or
Swords
won't it become a hurricane,
is
tropical storm,
clarified
whatever
by
it
the
may be
Six of
in the season. And right now we are
Pentacles,
sitting in
the sun,
warm
and the
water.
tower.
Temperatures, though, a bit cooler than what we were sitting at this time of year last year for a couple of
This
different
person
reasons.
is going to
For the
end up
Eastern
in
Pacific,
jail
anywhere
because
where
they
you have this
scamming.
dark, almost black looking color,
They're
that's turning you
scamming
into the upper
others.
80s. All it takes is 80 degrees in order
They're
to
scamming other
support
people.
the continued development of a tropical system. For the Eastern Pacific, in May, they've had 26
Or maybe
tropical
they
storms
in
and
jail
19
in their
hurricanes
mind. I don't
start
know.
their season early. But overall, a lot of these just sort of sit off into the Eastern Pacific and then
Wow.
towards,
Damn.
towards the west. And so it's not like they're curling back and making
They are
landfall, although
preventing
some
problems
in
for
recent years have done so.
themselves.
And just to point out how
Obstacles.
strong these storms can get if something does develop, we've seen the Category 4, Category 3 begin to pop up.
They've been doing this for a long time.
1950. For June 10th, that's the average date of the first.
They've been doing this for a long time. It could have been, could be.
And we've got some snow going on into the area, only for the higher elevations.
I don't know how many years, but they've been doing this for a long time. They even got cars.
Getting in an accident is just the beginning.
You're injured, your car's totaled, and you can't work.
From the scam.
You need a lawyer.
You need a lawyer? You have a lawyer. Call us, Science and Kirk.
And I'm just hearing that they're scamming older people.
Right from their website. YouHaveALawyer.com.
They're scamming older people.
Call Science and Kirk at
But they're getting ready to trip up.
YouHaveALawyer.com.
This person's leg is caught between here. They're getting ready to get tripped up. In their lives, I just heard.
And so do you. We believe every day is a chance for an upgrade.
See, they're celebrating now.
Made without compromise, designed to fuel your joy. Finally, a taste good, feel good, do good snack is
Yeah.
just within reach.
They're on their white horse right now.
You know about traded stamps, and I've essentially done everything.
You know, yeah. They're on their white horse right now. They have a victory. You know, they're taking the victory lap. Yeah.
Mark has this habit of messing everything up.
What is this?
Present.
Knight of Wands reverse. I'm looking up something. This person is arrogant. This person is arrogant and in their ego. They are arrogant ass person. And just doing this. Manipulating.
Right now,
yeah, this person is very manipulating.
Mid-Atlantic yesterday with 2 flash flood emergencies, one in Maryland and one in the state of Virginia. Now, numerous flash flood warnings were issued as rain pushed across the area yesterday and today with more wet weather on the way.
What goes up must come down, is what I just heard with this card. And they are on rocky waters. The boat is rocking.
It's another hot day from south to north. It is the last day of summer-like warmth for the upper Midwest. But in Texas, a likely record-breaking heat wave.
Aries could be involved because I see the ram right here.
We'll cover everything you need to know from north to south as Fox Weather First starts right now.
It doesn't have to be though. But what they done dished out, they're getting ready to get back.
Business Network and Fox Weather. I'm Jody Merwin. And Kendall Smith. Yeah, we are continuing to talk about more in the way of active storms that are going to be really getting going to head to the second part of the work week, but we're relatively calm this morning. Yes, coming off of a very tough day yesterday, though. The 2 flash flood emergencies, one being in Virginia, the other one in Maryland. Now, we are facing severe weather today.
They had a choice. They had a choice.
So there's a live look
but
at North Sioux City, South
they
Dakota,
choose
nothing really popping right now on these camera shots.
to do what they wanted to do. They had a choice. Or they
Here's the outlook. There's been no change overnight. So the Storm Prediction Center holding steady with their level 2 threat that stretches from North Dakota all the way down to the I-80 corridor.
Alright.
So Omaha is included as well as Fargo and
okay, so this is a King of Cups.
It is going to be a busy day. We are waking up to isolated severe weather, but this will become more widespread as we go into the afternoon and evening hours. Right now, Rapid City waking up to rumbles of thunder, brief gusty winds. Ahead of this, it is extremely quiet. I mean, Kendall, we got clear skies with temperatures in the 50s and 60s ahead of these thunderstorms, but there's a look at that severe thunderstorm warning just south of I-80.
Okay, so someone did do spell work on an empress. A fertility spell work on the empress. They went to a high priestess. And this empress is also a high priestess.
Yes, so good idea to just look at your Fox Weather app before you head out so you know what's on your way. It's going to be easier to travel in the morning hours because we'll have more widespread action later today. Some of these storms can produce really strong winds. I mean, gosh, to produce a 2-inch hailstone or larger.
Whoever did this spell work
really strong winds go up and down within a thunderstorm.
on this empress.
They can be pulled down and they rush out from the thunderstorm and you end up with a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. That can easily happen on a day like today. So here's the timeline. We'll go with Sioux City, Iowa. Notice that this is going to be happening later tonight. So unfortunately,
okay, point blank straight up. Whoever did the spell work on the empress, and whoever it is that's scamming other people for money because they don't want to work. They have other people taking care of their kids. They stealing money from others, begging money for others to have spell work done on this empress.
And once things start
This
to
shit is
pick up,
gonna,
major
the shit
cities,
is ending.
including Chicago, Milwaukee, and Indy, sit in the target zone for these powerful storms.
Like I
Now,
said,
we are highlighting an area
they're
of
either
concentration
going to jail or they're already in
a good portion
jail.
of the Midwest. So let's talk about more in the way of what we could expect. So Chicago on the left, Milwaukee on the right. We will be watching as these storms will be underway tomorrow
The
morning.
shit is delayed for them.
Now we'll look at that. We've got a
The
large
spell work
portion of the Midwest
did
from
not
Great Lakes
work.
all the way down into, Missouri,
As I said,
Wisconsin,
what goes
and
around
under
comes back around.
weather,
They're getting
that
their
comes
karma.
association with that kind of trailing cold front that's working eastward. But
They
what will
also
happen
went
is that there
to
will be a zone
a
that will be
hierophant.
conducive for severe weather. So we will have enough in the way of severe weather parameters.
Then
So shear,
somebody might be married and getting a divorce.
rotating supercells, some of which could produce tornadoes. So that's a big issue for us. When we look at Friday, and we'll have another threat with severe weather that will encompass more of
Yeah.
the southern plains and into mid-south and eventually into the northeast. So yeah, when you think about this, and what
The
we're
line has
anticipating
been
happen, here is
taken
this level 3
down.
mentioning. Notice a good chunk of the state of Wisconsin, even portions of Michigan, Michigan.
Look
even
at the
far
lion's
northern
face.
Indianapolis, or sorry, I should say Indiana, just to the north of
The
Indianapolis.
lion
Those are the areas where
has
we have
been
the greatest threat for severe
taken
weather. And Brennan,
down.
when we went on this conversation, it's interesting because of how far north. Yeah, I was
They
gonna say,
are
looking at
in
everything yesterday, I
judgment.
would have pegged the upgrade for closer to Indiana. Indiana is included in the upgrade to a level 3. But this is why you got to check in
And this
every
is
day
for
to see
a
how the
group
forecast
of you.
evolves, right? So looking at this morning, we just have that increased support as you work your way up into Wisconsin.
Queen of Pentacles is stable.
We're going to see really
I mean,
good
not
hailstorms
the
tomorrow. And unfortunately,
yeah, the Queen of
every place
Pentacles
on the
is
board.
stable,
Today's kinda like the
but
warm-up
this
day.
Empress
Tomorrow's
is
like the
this
real
is
display. Big cities
the
involved
Queen.
as well. And then on
This is
Friday,
the
we'll progress
Empress.
it out towards the east. So this full front means business. Part of the reason why they put the upgrade, including Wisconsin, is because you're next to the triple point. So that's where the cold front, the warm front meet up, and then you have that area of
And
low
that's
pressure
what
kind of holding this whole thing
they
together.
wanted.
It's
They
really
wanted to
helping
be
us spinning,
stable,
turning the
but they
atmosphere,
wasn't
which will
doing
produce the highest
doing
potential
it
for tornadoes.
in the right
And
way.
look at this. There you go. 91
Okay,
degrees
let me rephrase
Chicago,
that
and a
part.
dew point of 62. We are in trouble in a lot of these
They
spots.
wanted
We
to
are
be
humid,
stable,
actually, it's
but
warm.
they went about it the wrong way. They are the karmic.
Rock behind it, so the collision of air masses, it would be a volatile situation. I mean, the atmosphere is going to feel like summer tomorrow, but it's going to act like
They are
spring
being
because
held
that
in
powerful
judgment.
cold front and a huge drop off with the heat and humidity on the backside. So there is a look at the record-breaking highs. Again,
They are being taken down.
Peoria, Illinois will be in the low 90s, and suburbs of Chicago will be topping in the low 90s
Their
tomorrow.
spell work didn't work. It has backfired.
You need to be on alert for severe weather because it's going to feel warm and it'll feel like summer. You said it best, and then you'll have these storms that will blast their way on through, and that is quickly going to turn what might be
It is
not so
the
nice day
end.
to a not so nice day very quickly.
The shit is over. The tower has come.
Yeah, listen to the rush of the floodwater in Maryland yesterday. More rain is expected for the Mid-Atlantic this morning, but a very tough day yesterday with 2 flash flood emergencies. We are anticipating another round of flash flooding likely this afternoon.
They're begging to have everything.
This morning, they are running high and they're running fast. There is going to be
Their ass getting ready to go to jail if they're not in jail right now.
so the severe potential is marginal. Just like yesterday, handful of warnings to be anticipated. The risk goes from D.C. all the way down to Charlotte, North Carolina, and pushes inland as far to the west as Chattanooga.
I told you they're getting ready to trip.
Here, we have active warnings.
Their leg is getting caught in between them.
Hard-hit areas that will be easy for flooding
Ones.
to come up. We're anticipating an
Their
additional
ass
1 to 2 inches
getting
of
ready.
rain being
If
the
they
upper
haven't
echelon
tripped
of what
yet,
we can pull off
they're
today.
getting ready to trip
Again,
now.
it's a far cry from what we had yesterday, but the problem is we had 2 flash flood emergencies. So Kendall, you throw a couple inches of rain on top of that,
Yep.
and you could end up in
Arguments
a situation very quickly. Yeah,
amongst other people.
Water to have flooding concerns. So again, I was looking
They're gonna be mad.
130, over 130.
Again, it's the
And
end.
Roxburgh, Virginia, which is actually
I'm gonna leave it right there. You all have a blessed day, and I'll get back to you all as I am guided.
Right now, the steady and heavy rain is in
with another
Pennsylvania and
reading.
New Jersey. Once you work your way close to the I-80 corridor, this is just nuisance rain. We're not dealing with
And
flooding.
you all have a nice day.
A nasty morning commute is to be anticipated.
Bye.
This is wet roads.